So it's very nice to arrive here among all of you. And I'm sorry for what has happened before my coming here. But as I told you, that nature also can be awakened with the presence of a divine personality. And once it is awakened, it starts behaving in a manner as a realized soul would do. Like it gets angry with people who are not religious, people who don't want to know about God, people who are doing wrong things on life, people who are not normal people, in the sense they don't want to be part and parcel of the whole, recluses, all sorts of people. And once it is brought to that level, then it starts working on its own. As you know that according to Sahaja Yoga, all these elements have got a deity behind it. For example, Agni has got a deity called Agni Devta. In pure form, Agni Devta is the one which really purifies us. It purifies everything. It purifies, say, a gold. If you put gold in the fire, see, it doesn't burn. It comes out more brilliant, better. But if it is something that is not of such a value, it will burn out. So all inflammable things are mostly of a low grade things which are to be burnt only. But amazingly, these lower things only, when they are enlightened, or you can say when you put some wood you take and you put fire to it. So when fire is added to that wood, the same fire which is coming, actually the base is that, the wood itself, which is inflammable. And the flames that are coming out of that fire, once they are enlightened, they starts knowing what is truth, what is untruth, and reacting in such a manner as if they know what work has to be done. Now the difference between a Sahajayogi and the fire which is so initiated is this, that it does not think about it. It just goes on completely finishing things which it has to do. And by a method of frequencies it knows where to go and which one to burn out. And that's how it goes on burning things which it has to burn. And some of the unfortunate things are that people feel that this fire has no compassion, and that the fire must have some compassion also to spare some people. But the trouble is, we must understand that we have so many things within us. We've got fire, we've got water, we've got Mother Earth, all elements are within us. But in the fire, it is only the fire element, nothing else. So it acts according to its own quality. That is fire. Whatever is the quality of the fire, when enlightened, separates truth from untruth and starts behaving in that manner, but it remains fire. It cannot become compassion. But in a way, if you see, when you start choosing between the wrong type of a person and a right type of a person, if you see in a subtle way, it is compassion, because it is truth. And truth is love. So whatever it is doing is to manifest the love of God. And when it is manifesting the love of God, you should know that though it is fire, it gets the performance of a personality which is as if is a human being, because it is discreet. It knows what to burn and what not to burn. One day, I must tell you, we were doing some sort of a cleaning of the doors with those lamps you get. And Linda one day, you see, by mistake, brought that lamp very close to my body. And the lamp, the flame was very strong, but it just went round me. And it didn't touch me. She was surprised. She said, "Mother, you are burning." I said, "Don't worry." It just went round and came out. So, the fire doesn't burn a person who is pure. Doesn't burn. Example is Sitaji. Sitaji, when she was brought by Sri Rama from Ravana's place, see, everybody said that she has lived with a Rakshasa and she must be found out uh, whether she is guilty or not. So Rama, first of all, he said, all right. He put the fire. She herself said that you put a fire, big fire of fire. And she sat on that. And when the fire started burning, it could not burn her. She could not be burnt, you see. And the whole fire subsided. So, that time, the Agni Devata knows what is right, what is wrong, who is holy, who is unholy. But human beings take a lot of time to recognize that and to understand, even in Sahaja Yoga, because the sensitivity has to be grown much more. Now, why is it that anything that like water or Agni or any one of these elements becomes so sensitive than human beings are? How they just obediently do the thing as if they know the job, and they're so quick at it, so efficient. The reason is they are completely under the control of the divine. They are under the control of the powers of God. Absolutely, 100%. Whatever God wants, they do it once they are enlightened. But human beings are still, you see, dwindling between his own human awareness and the divine awareness and the oneness with the God. So it is the sensitivity in a person grows very, very slowly. Doesn't matter. Makes no difference. And when it grows, it comes, you see, it moves sometimes 2 steps forward and 5 steps backward. You see, again, like by the time it is about 2 years, you find the gentleman at the same spot where he started. And you get quite upset how it has happened, despite Sahaja Yoga. But this is the thing, is that human beings can think and they can decide, and they have ultimate freedom to give up this sensitivity at any time. So, you have to be under complete obedience of the divine, which is, one cannot understand sometimes how to be like that, because we have not been brought up that way. We don't know how to do it, and it's very difficult. So many people say, Mother, it is very difficult to surrender. It's not that they don't want to surrender, but they think that we are still, you see, popping up somewhere. Mother says something, but we start questioning her. Mother says this, then we think that we can suggest to Mother this another alternative and this and that. But there is no alternative. See, there is no alternative for a person who is a sensible person. If he knows that divine is only thinking of your hita, of your well-being, and whatever it sees and does, you see, knows much more than you do. Much, much more. And in so many dimensions that if somebody says so, that do like this, best is to do that. Sometimes it shocks people. People have ideas about sympathies, ideas about being, see, kind to others and be compassionate to others. But what is a human compassion? It doesn't do anything, it just talks. While God's compassion works. It works. It works on people. It doesn't talk that, oh, I'm very compassionate, I'm full of compassion, nothing. It just works, it manifests itself. So one should understand, to be a complete egoless personality, one should try to obey the self within yourself. Now, how do you obey yourself within yourself? It is through vibratory awareness. Try to obey through your vibratory awareness. Any question you want to ask, anything you want to do, you must obey it through your vibratory awareness. Now, some people are not so sensitive. That's true. The reason why they are not sensitive is because they think about it. Now, you think with your brain. Alright? If your brain can be enlightened, then you will think as the divine thinks, and your sensitivity will improve. Because sensitivity comes from the central nervous system. Now, in the central nervous system, if there is any blockage, it is actually in the brain, because all the centers are represented in the brain. So, the best thing is to say that, Mother, come in my brain. Please reside in my brain. Please make your room in this brain. You be the controller of this brain. Let this brain be guided by your divine wisdom. And you don't think for yourself. And this word I think should be dropped completely from surgery. I think means goes on, funny ways. It can be anything, Like once we went out and we had one of my very stupid uh, relations staying with us, a girl. And as I was going out, we had no service that day. So I was cooking, but that day when we were going out, so I told her, I'm going in the morning. Can you make a little bit of khichdi for us? When we come back, we'll have that. That's the only cooking she did in her lifetime, which she did not do also. So when we came back, she told me that she had not cooked. So I said, why? Why didn't you cook? Because we were supposed to take our food here. She said, I thought that maybe you may not come. Maybe you're not hungry. Maybe you may not like to eat. Maybe I may not do well. So all these four alternatives not to do the cooking. But I said, why didn't you think that we may be hungry, that we will eat? Why didn't you think this way? But I thought, this is an explanation for not having one in the brain, I should say, that there is no divine guidance in the brain. Then the guidance comes from your ego or from your superego, which says, I thought that this might happen. But how, why did you think like why not the other way around? Why did you think the other way around? But that is how it is. And when these things happen, we really are so much used to this kind of justification and alternatives to be offered that this becomes again the habit of the brain, and the brain gets separated from the divine. So you tell your brain, but why? Why did you think like that? Now will you stop thinking about these things and on these lines? Let us think of the positive thing. Now positive thinking is nothing but is a thinking, as according to Sahaja Yoga, it's not aggressive thinking, but it means that a thinking which helps to manifest the divine. That is what is positive thinking. And the it's all right. And the result of that is that your nerves start opening up, and you start feeling the manifestation of divine power in your fingers, in your being. And this is the basic thing that doesn't happen in the West or in the Western culture, because we have a very big idea of always giving an explanation for anything. Now you can see that, supposing you go to a person who is possessed and you get possessed, then you give an explanation. You see, I went to that person thinking, I thought that I will cure that person, but the result is you are mad now. Instead of that person getting cured, you have. So what is the reason? The reason is you thought in a very negative way, that I thought that this would help me, or I was helping that person. On the contrary, you got into trouble. Now, the trouble did not think. No. It just entered into you without thinking. It is there. It never thought whether I entered this person or not. It just came in, walked straight forward. While you were busy thinking, you see, it entered into your being and settled down there. So, it's like a thief walking into your house nicely when you are busy absent-mindedly doing something. See, it's exactly like you see the thief walking in, suddenly you find, oh, the thief is standing behind you. Now you said, I was thinking. It's exactly the same way it happens to us. And when we know, our mind knows that I can give an explanation about it, every time it is ready to give explanation, then the mind, you see, is used to that kind of a phenomena, that it will always give an excuse, always it will say something. So it is never on the alert. Because you see, even if the trouble walks into you, you'll always say, this is the explanation. But explanation doesn't cure you, doesn't help you. Because by mental explanation, she's not well, you see. She'll give us some soothing things.
There's some there, some soothing lovers. Okay, there's some soothing
Let's take
lovers.
it. Let's, yeah. All that. So, one should not be extremely on the thought waves and on the depending on their thinking, because you see, thinking has an alternative. Thinking always has an alternative. You can say, I was thinking this or I was thinking that. But whom are you blaming? It was you who were thinking, so you are responsible for that. So if you take the responsibility for your thinking, then you may not do such a thing as to say that I thought if I had done this thing it would happen. Because you are responsible for your thinking. Supposing an engine driver decides that I thought I better go by the other route and has a big accident. People will ask you, why did you think like that? What was the thing that made you think like that? But in every day-to-day life, I find human beings are always saying, I think, I think, I think, all the time giving alternatives. And that's why they go up and down, up and down, up and down like that. But for fire or for water or for Mother Earth, there is no alternative. There is no alternative. If I just touch the Mother Earth and I say, suck in their problems, please, she sucks. If I tell the fire, now, come now, you have been ignited. I don't even tell. They immediately suck in. Their kundalini rises, you can see. You put a fire in front of my foot. It's vibrating. You put a light, it's vibrating. It has no alternatives. It doesn't think, it has no alternatives. It's just enlightened. It has its own quality of enlightenment in the purest sense, because thinking makes it impure. Your enlightenment becomes impure by your thinking, by giving explanations, by giving all these nonsensical alternatives. So one should know, to divine there is no alternative. In Sanskrit the word is paryaya. There is no paryaya for divine. Divine is divine. There is nothing like that. Supposing you don't want to accept it, you will have problems, and then you will say that, Mother, how did we have problems? As you saw in Delhi. I told these people many a times that please do not have any program for 8 days and let all these people stay with some friends. They wouldn't listen to me. They arranged their program in that flat. And they were thinking they will have a big pandal in which they will give them the food to eat and all that. But you know what happened? It rained and rained and rained. Now rain knew what I wanted. And because it had to rain for the rabi crop. You see, you have to look after the whole universe. And that's why I said that for these 8 days, don't allow them to stay in this, because it will be difficult for them to move out. Better keep them with some other people so they can carry them along and do that. But they did not. Ultimately, it turned out to be a fiasco. They had to arrange for the stay of all other people into some house. So this is this situation. Now they might say that, Mother, you better stop the rain. I will not. Because they must know that the question of rabi crop is also equally important for me. And they have to have their share. After all, they are human beings and they are to be helped. But why didn't you listen to me? And then he came to me and he said that, Mother, will you please stop the rain tomorrow? I said, oh, tomorrow I will. He went back and he told the other gentleman, he said that let's put up the Shri, let's put up the pendant and let us cook there. He said, but no, it will rain. He said, no, it will not, because I have told God himself. He said, where did you meet God? He said, I did meet him, and now it's done. Next day he got up at 5 o'clock, the other fellow, to see. And he saw the whole sky so clear. He said, look at that, you have told God and God has listened to you. So this is it. Then when you are that much one with God, I mean, if you tell anything, it will work. Anything. Anything you ask for, it will work. But we are not. We are always finding alternatives. See? And these alternatives is the game. All these people have played with you all the time, giving you alternatives. You see now, in the market if you go, just now I asked him about what car you have. So he told me there are so many combinations, this, that, if you cylinder, this, that, so you go mad. You say, alright Baba, give me something, whatever it is. And then, you see, this is all playing with your brains all the time, giving you alternatives, whether you want this or that. And you feel that you are really a great personality that you can decide about, I'll have this color and that thing. Very seriously people do. Even I've seen, in a dinner, if people are sitting in a hotel and something, they'll study all the menu very carefully, and any one of will say, alright, I'll have this, the other fellow will say, I'll have that. And the bearer is quite puzzled, but the owners are happy that they have befooled. They just mix up this with that. Oh, this is this, this is this, this is this. And just they try to befool you. See, everything is boiled, kept there. Alright, this with sauce. Alright, this with masala. This with masala. It's all ready. You see, just mix that before you. Oh, I've got very good this thing. You see, it's not that your spirit is happy with it. It's not even your stomach that is happy with it. It's not even your palate that is happy with it. It's only your brain, this ego, is happy. And you say, oh, very nice. Oh, very nice. Still, it's no good. Same thing with gurus. It happens like that. That, you see, they pay for the guru. All right. So now the satisfaction is I've paid for the guru. And when you go there, even there they feel the scorpion is pinching them. So all the time is biting. They say, what happened? No, it's all right. It's all nothing has gone wrong with it. Again this side. And they continue with it. Oh, I'm very fine. Yes, I'm all right. I'm very peaceful. I'm never agitated. I'm absolutely relaxed. And you can see his nose is jumping, his eyes are jumping, his head is jumping, and he's supposed to be the most relaxed person. Oh, I felt very peaceful, very happy, no doubt. How can? With booths, how can you? I mean, I know you cannot. But I've seen many people telling me this story. Oh, they felt very nice with the Guru, and they felt very peaceful with the Guru. And I look at that. You become dishonest. Just to support that, one becomes dishonest. So we come back to the same point, that all these elements are honest. They are absolutely honest. Whatever is their quality, they profess that. A fire will not say that I will cool you down. It will not say. But after realization, so many of you must have noticed that if you put your hands to the fire, you get a cool breeze coming out of it, because it burns away whatever is ugly, whatever is bad in you, and you get the cool breeze from everywhere there, because that part is burnt away. It does the work of burning away. And when it burns away, then you put a hand towards the fire, and you are surprised that from the flame the food is coming up, instead of burning it, how the flame is cooling. So the quality, whatever they represent, they have within themselves built in, and they are honest. They are not dishonest, because they are absolutely one with the divine laws. But human beings are not like that. They play tricks here, there, that. That's why to give realization to human beings is a very difficult thing. Now I will also tell you about the Swayambhu things that come out of Mother Earth. You see, the Mother Earth sends out certain forms above for being, for you people to see that there are vibrations, to work out her spiritual thing, by which she makes the spirituality emit among you, by which she guides you, by which she creates a nucleus for you to worship, and this work she does in a very honest manner. But when such a Swayambhu things comes up, you can't understand why people are attracted to it. So then you become a sort of a in charge of that thing. Then you want to make artificial images of that. It's a human nature to make anything, everything that you see real, make it artificial. And that goes on and on and on till human beings themselves become so identified their artificiality that they don't understand what is reality is. In reality, whatever you are the highest. You are the highest epitome of all the creation. Even the thing that comes out of the Mother Earth cannot do the work that you can do. It cannot raise the Kundalini. It cannot cure. Maybe little bit effects might. But it won't work out with that force, with that maneuvering. When you are like a very advanced machinery, of course, very advanced, extremely sharp and extremely effective. But the problem is this brain of yours, you see, when it comes in between, which is nothing compared to that big brain, you see. Your brain is nothing but like a little mosquito, it comes up, it comes here and there, says, oh, this. And then the problem starts. But if you really start using His power within you, God has made you as the best instrument that you could think of. And as you start using your instrument with that wisdom and surrender on humility, gradually it evolves more and more and more, and you start developing more sensitive sides, or we can say evolving a new method in this and getting a better and better understanding of the working of Sahaja. So it is important that first of all we must decide to stop the brain working too much and say that, Mother, you be in our brain. Thank God I am before you in first. It's not difficult. Just say that, Mother, you have to be in our brain. Now this brain is, as you know, is supported by the 5 elements. They all are in this brain. And if you can somehow or other bring me in that brain, somehow or other, by telling your brain now not to disturb you anymore, you'll be amazed that immediately the whole system will start working like a dynamo. It will be such a sensitive thing, you don't have to worry about anything, you don't have to think about it. You touch anything, it becomes gold sort of thing. You see, become Midas touch. It's become such a great thing. But that is to achieve is difficult for everyone. They find it difficult to achieve that kind of a perfection where you lose completely your ego and you become egoless. Like the fire, the Mother Earth, like all other elements. They have no ego. It's only human beings who have built the ego. And the ego is such a big myth. Of course, when you don't do anything, why should you think you are doing something? And why should you be responsible for doing anything? But the thing is, we think that, no, it's not God. We have to do this thing. And I have to decide. You see, it's just we play tricks with ourselves. Morning till evening, spoiling our brain, absolutely becoming mad. Best thing is to surrender and see that things will come before you. You will be amazed. Oh, how it has happened. How it has worked out. The other day I told just Kerry, you better go and register yourself. She said, Mother, the university has closed down its gates. I can't get it. It's very difficult. I said, all right, I have said it to go. Then she telephoned, they said, no, it's impossible, you just can't do it, but if you want, you can come and see it. And as she walked into the university, in the office, they said, all right, come along, you are registered. It is. So many times it will happen to you people. But it took about 10 minutes for me to convince her that you just try it. But I must say, still, she was not so adamant. She was thinking, if Mother is saying, I will get it. Mother is saying, it will work. But if you suppose it's all right, Mother, you are saying, I'm just going to register. Finish. Then what happens? Even if you do not get registered, doesn't matter. That's not important. Your brain improves. That's important. That your brain improves. It becomes more sensitive. It's not important that the work should be done. That's not important. What is important that in your brain you must get this idea that let me be enlightened. Good. Alright? This is what one has to understand in a very subtle way, that we all are very sensitive instruments made by God, and all our energies are not at work. So we have to supply energy to all our nerves, and that's only possible if we remove our blockages created by our ego and our conditioning. If you can remove the blockages, all our nerves will become very sensitive. And that's why tell your mind that now any further you better put mother down. Now it is also expressed through the way you talk. You see, you jabber. Jab, 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 jab. And nothing, I've seen you jabbering, I said, oh, now what to do? There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to say about it. It's just there. And if it is just there, then it is better to be done and to be executed, and it will work. Because if you know how to talk too much, then it's going to be difficult. Because you'll not suck in anything within yourself. And you'll always give explanations. You'll always say, oh, maybe, I thought maybe, this maybe. A simple example, say for example, I said, oh, I think I brought. If I say I think I brought, I mean something in it. I said, I brought my chappals with me. So other thing, no, I think finished. May not be true. I may not be true at all when I am saying that. See, I may be saying it just to test you. And to say maybe, then yes, all right. Try. Once or twice you say that whatever you know so far, you say, must be. If mother says must be. Just try to train your mind that way. I try these tricks and I find mostly they fail. Then I give up. Mostly they fail. And they just can't understand how these things happen and how what mother says come true and how that thing works out this way. And but now understand that I'm just playing tricks with you, just to make you understand that put your mind absolutely at rest and let the big ahankara, the mahat ahankara take over, the mahat ego, the great ego of God take over and do the will. Alright? May God bless you. It's better now. I think brain activity has stopped quite a lot. So now, what should we do? Now, what is the theme as you ask me now? I don't know what is it.
The bowl has to be painted. Just give me the kumkum and the large bowl.
You see, by washing my feet, what you are doing is that you are awakening the spirit in the water, first of all. Alright? And when you decorate my feet, what you do is that you decorate the powers that are there, just the powers. And when you put these red things on them, what you do is this red is something that is just decorative, and you decorate the power, so the power also feels happy about it. You see, that's how it. So now what is the theme? You tell me.
I told him your message, Mother.
Now I would say, what did I say?
He said call it the place where the Adi has been laid down.
Yeah. Adi lead. No. Laid can mean two things. Also can be laid down, you see, and laid up. In which language can we say? Actually, Adi La. La is Lalita. La is Lalita, and Adi, the primordial Lalita. And Lalita is left sided. So, if it is to be taken from Adi La Da, or Adi La, this comes from four words. Adi, then Adi La Da. Name. Alright? So, Adi La means Lalita, and Da means the one giver. giver of the Adi Lalita is Adile. Alright? It has a big name if you try to really see through it. I don't know how they gave this name to this place, why, but maybe unconscious has done it. Alright.
Mother, I think everybody here has washed your feet one time or another.
Right. So would you like all of you again to wash my feet?
Very much.
Would I?
The, should we begin with Ganesh mantra and Adi Shakti?
Yes, we should. So all of you should try to wash my feet one by one. If we have few people, it's good for you. That's good. This one also is try. In England, they invited me to launch one ship, and another, they called it naming the ship, but that was also another launching in one day. Now, they were told that they have to make a swastika on the ship. So the first ship, they made a swastika with a stencil like that. And on the other ship, they turned it around and made the other swastikas. So as first ship I launched, on the second ship I saw, I said, this swastika is not all right, it's the other way down. And they got such a fright, they said, it is inauspicious. Is it inauspicious? And they were so worried. It doesn't matter, now change it over. So they removed all that, painted it up, and just put another swastika like that. So sweet. They were so much worried, I was amazed. You see, these shipping people are very sensitive. They understand because they deal with the
elements.
you see, so they know that there is something like God's power and it should not be unhappy, and it should be a fortunate thing that you travel with a person who is good. All these things are in their head. You see, if there's a good lady traveling, then they think it's a good weather for them. It's true, also it happens like that. So they know that the ocean acts according to the goodness and badness of person. They were so worried, I was really amazed. And CP said, look at them people, what's happened? They have gone bizarre. I said, you see, they depend on this thing, on such a little thing like that. But I said, once you have done it, now it's all right. It's nothing wrong with it. It's all right. Nothing inauspicious, nothing, just a play. Then they settle down. Then they settle down. I said, the ceremony has not started. Why worry about it? It's just a play, so nothing to worry about it. But this is what it is, because you see, I tell you, these sailors are so sensitive to nature and to the sea, moods of the sea. See? And if there's a funny man on the ship, they just unload him on the way. They think because of this fellow we are having a problem. Just unload him, just throw him away. Like this professor at Arcar when he was with us, you see, they said it's better to unload him completely because he used to trouble me quite a lot, you see. They said he seems to be troubling Mataji, better to unload him. I said, now you don't do all that, unloading. And nobody can ask any question if somebody is unloaded, you see, because they can say that he just fell over. He was drinking, he fell over, you see. Oh, they are very sensitive on good and bad points, I must say. Very sensitive. Oh, good.
Just have
Huh?
the mantras, Mother.
All right, you just wash my feet and go on saying mantras of the Ganesha. All right. Now, who will wash and who will do this one by one? Somebody has to. No, come along. You can go on pouring. One person can go on washing and then pour. Now, first of all, you sit down here. To both of you, come and wash my feet. And now you pour the water. Now you start saying the mantra. It's not kept here properly in front of me. Yeah. It's good. Loud, loud.
Shri Mataji, Mataji.
Loudly, what's happening to you?
Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesh Shakti Sakshat Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha.
So now you can start pouring, one of you, and he can say the mantras of Sri Ganesh. The one English one that you have. Now come along, along. Let's get there. Now any one of you can just come along. Just one more person? Yes. And you need much more water. Is there arrangement for water? All right, one by one. Come now. Now. Rub it. One side.
Right.
Four more? Four.
Stop. No.
Yes. You should make copies of that, and everybody should say it is a good idea.
Okay.
Let our ears hear that which is true. Let our eyes see that which is pure. Let our beings praise that which is divine. And let those who listen hear not my voice, but the wisdom of God.
Loudly.
Let us worship with the same song, the same strength, and the same knowledge. And let our meditation enlighten and enrich. Let there be amongst us compassion and peace.
You see, the same is the wrong translation. It's sama. Means balanced. If you put the word balanced, just see how it sounds.
Balance. Let there be amongst us balance and peace.
No. Same knowledge, same this.
And let us worship with the same song, the same strength.
No, same. Balanced it is. Sama. Sama means balanced.
Let us worship with the balanced song.
Balanced.
With the balanced strength. With the balanced knowledge.
Sama means which is not same. Same is not the word for sama. Sama is balanced, which is congenial, or which is sama means balanced is the same. See, whatever is balanced is congenial to God.
The appropriate.
Appropriate. You see, propriety comes from religion. You see, all synonymous. So appropriate.
Let us worship with the appropriate song, the appropriate strength, and the appropriate knowledge.
Or you can say the song, let us worship with the song of propriety, or song knowledge of propriety. You see, that's even better, sounds more artistic.
Let us worship with the song of propriety, the strength of propriety, and the knowledge of propriety. And let our meditation enlighten and enrich. Let there be amongst us compassion and peace. Salutation, Shri Ganesh. Sakshat Shri Jesus. Sakshat Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. It is you who is the beginning of all the beginnings. It is you who is the doer of all the deeds which have been done
Just
are
you
being
don't pay attention there. You put full
You
concentration
do.
and you supply them the water. All right?
It is you who is the beginning of all the beginnings. It is you who is the doer of all deeds that have been done, are being done, and will be done. It is you who supports
Now,
all.
what he says should be a part and parcel of you. You see, just it's not just reading mechanically. All right? Now, what did I say is the same thing. Can you repeat it again?
It is you who are the beginning of all the beginning. It is you who is the doer of all deeds that have been done, are being done, and will be done. It is you who supports all things that are supported.
This is you are addressing to me now. Right?
It is you who protects all things that are protected. It is you who is the complete, all-pervading Spirit, God's divine energy. Think clearly, brain.
Now
Speak
better?
only the truth.
All right? Now, this is you are addressing it to me. I am sitting before you. Try to understand this point also. You see, you think Ganesha is hanging somewhere. No, it's he sitting here. All right. Now, yeah. It's good.
Let your presence awakened in us by Kundalini speak. Let your presence awakened in us by Kundalini listen. Let your presence awakened in us by Kundalini bless.
Yes.
Let your presence awakened in us by Kundalini protect.
Get some bucket or something.
Let your presence awakened by Kundalini in us, your disciples, be
See now.
the disciple.
What is awakening of the Kundalini within you is the same what I told you, that the Kundalini in all these elements is awakened. All right? So the identification is complete. When you say that let us have the Kundalini awakened, we are saying that within us the identification with you should be complete. All right? I think you sit here and don't pay attention there, it will be much better. You see, the attention
sorry,
goes,
Mother.
you see. Huh? Now you are just in charge of reading, or let him read and you do this, whichever way you like.
You read it. It's fine.
Good, you should read. That's a much greater thing than to do these things. Now, who else is there? Now come. Get some more water now. Put this water around in the somewhere outside. You can take it somewhere. If there's a bucket or something, you can put it outside.
You are the essence of all the scriptures and the holy words, and you are the ability to understand the holy words. You are the divine combination of complete truth, complete joy, and complete energy. And you are more. You are all knowledge, and you are the use to which the knowledge is put. You exist until the end of all things, and after the end of all
Now
things.
try to understand it in the light what I have told you, that you exist before this sentence. Now again read it, that one.
You exist until the end of all things, and after the end of all things, you remain
So
eternal.
it is eternal. I told you innocence never gets destroyed.
You are the earth, and you are the water. You are the fire, and you are the air, and you are the space above the air. You are the gunas, and you are beyond the gunas.
And this is what is excited when you see it faces the reality. Any one of these things, you see, like all the elements, is the Ganesha Tattva in that. See, Ganesha Tattva in that gets excited. And that is the innocence.
You are the gunas, and you are beyond the gunas. You are the body, and you are beyond the body. You are the essence of time, and you are beyond time. You, and only you, exist at the Muladhara chakra. You are the spirit, and you are beyond the spirit. All those who would join God meditate upon you. You are Brahman, Vishnu, Rudra.
Because
You
he
are-
is the essence. He being the essence of everything, he becomes everything.
You are Brahman, Vishnu, Rudra. You are Indra, Agni, Vayu. You are the sun at noon. You are the full moon. Throughout all these and more, you are the all-pervading energy of innocence and wisdom. You are the divine servant who stoops to wash the feet of saints. You are the tiny core of all things without which the larger have no purpose.
See, tiny core. Now see what I've said it exactly, it's repeated here. See, tiny core. So that's the core gets enlightenment, and that core acts, see, to further the purpose of divine manifestation. That core becomes enlightened.
You are the key to the libraries of all the scriptures without which the truth is hidden. You are the full stop which completes the sentence and without which the sentence loses its meaning. You are the crescent moon. You are the stars, and you are beyond the stars. All things, from tiny dot to universe, is you. You are in the future and beyond the future. You are in all forms. You are where the sounds combine. You are the silence between the sounds. You are the rhythm of all music and all prayers. This is the knowledge of Nirmala Ganesh, and you, Nirmala Ganesh, are the master of that knowledge and all knowledge. You are the God, and you are the Goddess. Om Gam Nirmal Ganapate. Your powers, Ganesha, let all surrender. Let the left side of memory and the right side of action surrender to you. And let your enlightenment prevail. Your first tooth you have, and 4 hands, one holding a rope, the second a goad, the third is raised in blessing, and the fourth offers sustenance. Your banner is that of a humble mouse. You have long ears and are clothed in red. Red decorates you, and you are worshipped with red flowers. You have compassion for those who love you, and it is for those who love you that you come to this earth. You are the force that creates, the energy that pervades, and the spirit that protects. Those who seek union with God pray through you. Those who seek union with God worship you. Om Gyam Nirmal Jesusaye. To your powers, Om Jesus, let all surrender. Let the left side of memory and the right side of action surrender to you, and let your enlightenment prevail. You are the word that was the beginning. You are the word that will be the ending. You are he who was born of a virgin and died on the cross. You are he who absorbs all sins and who died to live again. You are God and man, and you are worshipped with red flowers. You have compassion for those who love you, and it is for those who love you that you come to this earth. You are the force that creates, the energy that pervades, and the spirit that protects. Those who seek union with God pray through you. Those who seek union with God worship you. Shri Ganesha, salutation to you. Shri Jesus, salutation to you. He who is the beginning of all worship, salutation to you. He who destroys all the powers of evil, salutation to you. Sakshat, son of Lord Shiva, who has unending blessings, salutation to you. Sakshat, son of Mary Mataji, who is unending love, salutation to you. Sakshat, Mataji, Nirmala Devi, who is unending joy. Salutation to you.
Now this essence of innocence, which is Shri Ganesh, is completely surrendered to his mother. The beauty of it is absolutely surrendered to his mother. He would even fight his father at the command of the mother, even if there is no command. If he finds that the father is a little bit more hasty in destroying this universe or something like that, it is he who stands all the time at the lotus feet of his mother. Absolutely surrendered. He does not accept anything greater than his mother. For him, mother is the highest. And that's how you are all made in the same line as he was made. Because yours is also immaculate conception, if you see that. The way you got your second birth. So you are made after his pattern. That's why you have so many powers. Nobody, you can see that nobody who is a realized soul, otherwise a human being, has so many powers as you have. And the understanding and the wisdom you have. You have everything that Ganesha could have, except for one thing which I cannot give you, is his complete dedication and surrendering to his mother. That's one thing I cannot do. That you have to do it yourself. That's the only thing that stands in between. On that? So now, it's done. All of you, come here. Okay, come along. Go to it. Then you two, who are left now? You? You have done? You too. All right, come along. Come on. Can put some music if you have. Start doing both. If you give him one, I think so. This week you also start doing it. Yes, lovely. A bit hard, a bit hard. This is Spanish.
No, it's by a German who lived in England, spent his working life in England.
What's it?
Handel.
Handle, yeah, it's very good. Like little children playing. Put your hand towards you. Now who else? Alright, I'm coming. Who else remains? You? What is this thing?
The water music, sweet mother. It was written
I felt it something.
by Handel to accompany a king's travelling on the Thames on a barge.
Oh,
He's orchestra played this music.
Good. All right? Listen with your hands. Good.
This is the second time I've washed your feet.
Really? Imagine.
Second time. First time in Australia when I... This is the second.
Sorry.
No, sorry. God bless you. Now, please let's put some other towel here. We don't have to dip it into the- And just now I'll wash my hands. And you see the mantra of the Devi.
Mantra of the Devi.
Yes.
Washes it.
Now you start the mantras of the Devi. If you want, you can have all the mantras to be said.
The threefold
You
mantra,
see,
Mother.
the 108 names.
Ah, the 108. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Maha.
Loudly.
Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Maharani Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Devi Kaya Samudyata Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri
It's good for
Akula
the
Namaha.
face. No,
Om Tvameva
for the
Sakshat
face.
Shri
Okay.
Nitya
Let it
Namaha.
fall.
Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Bhavani Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri
No, better
Vishnu
translate, I think, from the very beginning.
Granthi Vibhedani
Isn't it?
Namaha.
It should be translated, otherwise it doesn't go into the brain. It must go into the brain of
Mother, we haven't got a translation here.
No,
The most of the
you had them.
Yes, I'm sorry, Mother. They didn't come from Perth to Adelaide. We meant it to come and it didn't get
All
put
right.
in.
So,
Om Tvameva Sakshat
Then have you got 1001 name? No, 1000 names of the Devi. Have you got in English?
That's the Sri Lalita Sahasranama. No, we haven't. No. One of the problems, Mother, is that most of the people here, the last ashram is packed up. My suitcase is still in Melbourne, and people's luggage is still not really settled
So
here
is
in Adelaide.
This all of you have got with you, so you can read it, but if you understand, you see.
There's another copy.
I'll read.
Let me see, what is that? This 108 names of...
That's the one Gavin wrote, Mother.
Yes, it's a good idea. Why not have this, you see? This one is, all of you can say it as much as possible. All of you should try to say. No, come on. Now, you have to first of all give me that. That's the key. That's the key.
Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Mata Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Maharani Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Devi Karya Samudata Namaha.
One should say loudly because I can't hear.
Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Akula Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nitya Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Bhavani Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Vishnu Granti Vedani Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Bhakti Priya Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Bhakti Gamya Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nilepa Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Shama Daini Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirhara Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirjana Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Mahaparanashini Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirmala Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirmala Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nishkalanta Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirahara Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Niraguna Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirvignara Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirguna Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirapaplava Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nishkala Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nishkala Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nitya Mukta Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Lila Vinodani Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirvana Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirantara Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nishkarana Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirvana Namaha. Nirupadi.
Nirupadi, which has no attachments.
Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirvishvara Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Niraga Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirmala Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nishkala Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Gambira Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nischinta Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirmoha Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirvana Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nishpapa Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nishanshaya Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirvava Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirvana Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirvikapa Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nishkara Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirnasha Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirapaya Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nishkriya Chinagajagura Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirajaya Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Mahamaya Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Vijaya Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Sandra Karuna Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Mahashakti Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Bhagavati Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Sukhaprada Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Padmasana. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Lokatita Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Maharati Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Vishwarupa Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Rakshakari Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Rakshasanghi Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Parashakti Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Yagada Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Parameshwari Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Punyalabhya Namaha. Om
You have to say
Tvameva
Namo Nama.
Sakshat
Namo Nama. See?
Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Sankaradya Namo Namaha. Om Achita Rupam Lakini Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ekakali Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Guru Murti Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Shobhana Sumagati Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Chandika Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Trigunatmika Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Mahati Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Pranarupini Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Shambhakali Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Shamatika Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Satchitananda Rupini Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Viramata Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kavita Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Pranama Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Sadhini Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Sadashiva Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Vishwadharma Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Svabhava Madhura Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Pushti Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Dhira Samajita Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nitya Yoga Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Vishva Sakshi Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Vishvadrasa Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Sudha Shruti Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Shashwati Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Paramoda Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Damadara Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Swasta Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Pashahatri Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Parvati Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Chandra Nibha Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ravi Pratya Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Mahapuja Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Chit-Shakti Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Laja Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Vima Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Varada Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Mahadevi Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Vilasini Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Vandaru Jana Vatsala Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Sahaja Yoga Jayini Namo Namaha. Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Bhagavati Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha.
Now, I would say that unmarried ladies who are here should come and decorate. Okay.
Mother, there are some sections from the Devi Mahatmya.
Yes, you did that. Now, let me just go back and then the drawing there. Now, what I would suggest is to do that already.
This is a section from Markandeya's praise of the Devi Mahatmya. This is from the first chapter. You are Svaha and Svadha. You are verily the Vasatkara, the embodiment of Svara. You are the nectar, O eternal and imperishable one. You are the embodiment of the threefold mantra. You are half a mantra, though eternal. You are verily that which cannot be uttered specifically. You are Savitri,
I must say,
and the Supreme.
they asked me, these people, what will you describe yourself as? So I said, I don't know what to describe myself. Better you describe me. The newspaper people.
You are Savitri and the Supreme Mother of the Devas. By you, this universe is born. By you, this world is created. By you, it is protected, O Devi, and you always consume it at the end. O you who are always of the form of the whole world, at the time of creation, you are of the form of the creative force. At the time of sustentation, you are of the form of the protective power, and at the time of the dissolution of the world, you are of the form of the destructive power. You are the supreme knowledge, as well as the great nescience, the great intellect and contemplation, as also the great delusion, the great Devi, as also the great Asuri. You are the primordial cause of everything, bringing into force the three qualities. You are the dark night of periodic dissolution. You are the great night of final dissolution, and the terrible night of delusion. You are the goddess of good fortune, the ruler, modesty, intelligence characterized by knowledge, bashfulness, nourishment, contentment, tranquility, and forbearance. Armed with sword, spear, club, discus, conch, bow, arrows, slings, and iron mace. You are terrible, and at the same time you are pleasing, yea, more pleasing than all the pleasing things, and exceedingly beautiful. You are indeed the supreme Ishvari, beyond the high and low. And whatever or wherever a thing exists, conscient, real, or non-conscient, unreal, whatever power all that possesses is yourself. O you who are the soul of everything, how can I extol you? By you, even he who creates, sustains, and devours the world is put to sleep. Who is here capable of extolling you? Who is capable of praising you? You have made us all, Vishnu, myself, Shiva, take our embodied
This is
forms.
Brahmadeva described.
O Devi, being lauded thus, bewitch those two unassailable asuras, Madhu and Kaitaba, with your superior powers. Let Vishnu, the master of the world, be quickly awakened from sleep and rouse up his nature to slay these two great asuras. To that Ambika who is worthy of worship by all devas and sages and pervades this world by her power, and who is the embodiment of the entire powers of all the hosts of devas, we bow in devotion. May she grant us auspicious things. May Kandika, whose incomparable greatness and power Bhagavan Vishnu, Brahma and Hara are unable to describe, bestow her mind on protecting the entire world and on destroying the fear of evil. O Devi, we bow before you, who are yourself good fortune in the dwellings of the virtuous, and ill fortune in those of the vicious, intelligence in the heart of the learned, faith in the hearts of the good, and modesty in the hearts of the high-born. May you protect this universe. O Devi, how can we describe your inconceivable form, or your abundant, surpassing valor that destroys the asuras, or your wonderful feats displayed in battles among all the hosts of God, asuras, and others? You are the origin of all the worlds. Though you are possessed of the three gunas, you are not known to have any of their attendant defects like passion. You are incomprehensible even to Vishnu, Shiva, and others. You are the resort of all. This entire world is composed of an infinitesimal portion of yourself. You are verily the supreme, primordial, Prakriti, untransformed. O Devi, you are Svaha, at whose utterance the whole assemblage of gods attain satisfaction in all their sacrifices. You are the Svadha, which gives satisfaction to the manas. Therefore you are chanted as Svaha and Svadha in sacrifices by
See,
people.
now this Swadha and Swaha to be understood. Swaha means that power by which the enlightened fire consumes whatever is bad. That power. See, that's called as Swaha. And Swadha is by which the enlightened water sustains whatever is good. Swaha Sada. Svadha. Right. These are the qualities. You can see that there are higher qualities are like tapa. Tapa is this, is by which the resurrection qualities of human beings are attained. That power, tapa, jana, is that power by which the collectivity is felt by human beings is jana. So all these are given the powers of all these five elements. Bhu is first. Bhu is the power of the Mother Earth by which she creates these unique, what you call Swayambhus. By power by which she absorbs your problems after realization. This is called as her quality as Bhu. Then is Bhuva. Bhuva means Antariksha is the all creation, by which all the stars and the moon and the sun, all that is created. There is power in them which supports, helps and guides, out of which is rain and all these things. Then is the power of Agni. See, the elements are, that is Bhur, Bhu. Bhur is the power of the Prithvi, the Mother Earth. Bhuva is the power of that is all created, Antariksha or space. And Agni, the power of the Agni is Swaha, by which it is consumed. Whatever is wrong is consumed, and whatever is good is thrown out, is brought out, is brightened.
Refined.
Like the gold, you can say. That's the power of Swaha. And Swadha is the power by which you sustain. What? The water. Water is the sustainer. See, it sustains that is good in us, and whatever is not good in us throws out. That's the power of Swadhaha, Dharayati Sara, means which creates the dharma. It sustains your dharma. The water that sustains your dharma and takes away all that is adharma. Right? Whatever is imbalance, it takes. Then I told you, then is Janaha, Tapaha, Janaha and Tapa. Swaha, Swadha. What is the power called?
It's in there, Mother, the Gayatri Mantra.
Gayatri Mantra has got all the time. Bhur,
Gayatri.
Swaha, Swadha,
Om Bhu, Om Bhu, Om Swa, Om Ma,
Om Ma.
Maha, Om Maha, M-A-H.
Maha is the mother, Maha. She gives you that power of Maha. Maha means the one, she gives you that secret. So that's the power that comes from the air element. That the air element gives you the feeling of being great, Maha. See, it consumes all that is nonsensical. If the air blows, you say, it will take away all that's very frivolous, flippant, cheap. And whatever is great, it will retain. That power of the air is Maha. Then Jana. And Janaha, I told you, Janaha is collectivity, the power which gives us collectivity within us. And then Tapa, the one which gives you the power to sustain whatever is spiritual, the spirit itself. Tapasvita, you must have heard the penance. The power that really gives you penance, takes out all that's bad and keeps the spirit in this tapa. So that's how they have these five elements. Bhur, Bhuva, Swaha, Swadha, Jana, Tapa. Out of which the first one, as I said, who, then what you call that in ether, you call it ether?
Yes, Akash,
Akash.
Ether.
Ether. So that is the one, is Antariksha, is the second one. Antariksha, Akash. Did you follow all that?
Yes.
One by one. This is the power which gets enlightened when the Parama Chaitanya touches it. And then it acts. And that's how it acts as a spiritual being. Alright? This is to explain further. Now, what should we do now? We go to that. We put it round.
O Devi, you are Sraha, at whose utterance the whole assemblage of gods attains satisfaction in all the sacrifices.
By Swaha, you see, they sacrifice, and when they sacrifice, whatever is wrong burns off, and you get nothing but satisfaction. Swaha.
And you are Svadha,
Svadha.
which gives satisfaction to the manas.
To the
Manas, M-A-N-E-S.
Manasa. Manasa is that, you see, Swaha is the quality of the Agni, which is the right side of the Swadhisthana, and the Swadha is the quality of the left side, that is the water. Right? So that gives you the, you see, the Manasa.
Manasa.
You see, the Manashakti.
O Devi, you are Bhagavati, the supreme Vidya, which is the cause of liberation.
Yes, cause of liberation. That's why I'm giving you liberation. It's very simple as that. You see, if I'm that quality, I'm doing it. What is so special about me? Nothing. Because if the Mother Earth has got the speciality of giving the sprouting to the seed, she does it. In the same way, I am doing this job because I am the supreme knowledge and I am supposed to give you salvation. So nothing great about me. But it is great for you to achieve it. Because you are achieving something, I am not achieving anything. But the trouble is, you have to humble down to achieve it. I know you are great because you are achieving. But for that you have to humble down. It's a contrast. See? Paradox is like that. Now what should we do? Is to first finish with the feet. Whatever you have to do is done. No?
Devi, you are Bhagavati, the supreme Vidya,
That
which
we
is the
do
cause
like
of liberation,
whatever is there.
and great
In the
inconceivable
hands,
penances
everything that you have to
are the means of your realization.
Mirror.
That we'll do later on, because
You-
then I need not move my feet at all.
The supreme knowledge are cultivated by sages desiring liberation, whose senses are well restrained, who are devoted to reality, and who have shed all the blemishes. You are the soul of Shabda Brahman. You
Soul
are
of Shabda Brahma. Shabda Brahma is that Brahma which you can excite by mantras. That is Shabda Brahma. This Brahma has got a capacity to understand the Shabda. Shabda means the one that is spoken by the mother. It understands. You see, this Brahma understands. And by whatever she speaks, you see, it gives them the direction. So she is the soul of that.
the essence of the mantra.
Essence of the mantra. She is the mantra. Essence of the mantra. But it's deeper to understand. Essence, you see, English essence, I don't know. Essence could be extraction also. So I don't know. Now, so
You are the repository of the pure Rukh and the Yajas hymns. The recital of the words is beautiful. You are the Bhagavati embodied in the three Vedas, and you are the sustenance whereby life is maintained. You are the supreme destroyer of the pain of all the worlds. Devi, you are the intellect by which the essence of all scriptures is comprehended. You are Durga, the boat that takes men across the difficult ocean of worldly existence, devoid of attachments.
that I'm doing, isn't it? Well, whatever is said about me, I'm doing it, isn't it?
You are Shri, who has invariably taken her abode in the heart of Vishnu. You are indeed Gauri, who has established herself with Shiva. Gently smiling, pure, resembling the full moon's orb, beautiful like the splendor of excellent gold is your face. Yet it is very strange that being swayed by anger, Mahasasura suddenly struck your face when he saw it. Far strange it is that after seeing your wrathful face, O Devi, terrible with its frowns and red in hue like the rising moon, that Mahasasura did not forthwith give up his life. For who can live after beholding the enraged destroyer? O Devi, be propitious. You are supreme. If enraged, you forthwith destroy the Asura families for the welfare of the world. This was known the very moment when the extensive forces of Mahasasura were brought to their end. You who are always bounteous, with whom you are well pleased, those fortunate ones are indeed the objects of esteem in the country. Theirs are riches, theirs are glories, and their acts of righteousness perish not. They are indeed blessed and possessed of devoted children, servants, and wives. By your grace, O Devi, the blessed individual does daily all righteous deeds with utmost care, and thereby attains to heaven. Are you not therefore, O Devi, the bestower of reward in all the three worlds? When called to mind in a difficult pass, you remove fear from every person. When called to mind by those in happiness, you bestow a mind still further pious. Which goddess but you, O dispeller of poverty, pain, and fear, has an ever-sympathetic heart for helping everyone? Through the destruction of the enemies, all these three worlds have been saved by you. Having killed them in the battlefront, you have led even those hosts of enemies to heaven, and you have dispelled our fear from the frenzied enemies of the Devas. Salutation to you. O Devi, protect us with your spear. O Ambika, protect us with your sword. Protect us by the sound of your bell and by the twang of your bowstring.
A twang.
O Kandika, guard us in the east, in the west, in the north and in the south by the brandishing of your spear, O Ishvari. Protect us and the earth with those lovely forms of yours moving about in the three worlds, as also with your exceedingly terrible forms. O Ambika, protect us on every side with your sword, spear and club and whatever other weapons your spout-like soft hand has touched.
This one is, I don't know why, is giving me a charring feeling, this one.
He's giving a...
For me, charring feeling. Is it emitting something?
It's probably the sticky tape scratching you.
Huh?
Probably that tape. We'll
No,
take
not
it
the
off.
tape when I go near
We'll
it.
take it off.
Something emitting.
Take this.
If I take, I'll take the tape off, yes.
I'm sorry. These are for 5 elements, right?
It's all right. Is that all right now, Mother?
It's all right.
Namo Devi Mahadeve Shivaye
Loudly.
Satatam Namaha. Namo Devi Mahadeve Shivaye Satatam Namaha. Namaha Prakriti Bhadraye Nyataha Pranataha Ramatam. Rudraye Namo Nityaye Gaurye Dhatre Namo Namaha.
ज्योत्स्नाये चेन्दुरूपिण्ये सुखाये सततं नमः कल्याणे प्रणतः व्रते सिद्धे कर्मो कुर्मो नमो नमः नैऋत्ये भूव्रतां लक्ष्मी
Is there somebody unmarried boy?
शर्वाण्ये भूव्रतां लक्ष्मी शर्वाण्ये ते नमो नमः दुर्गाय दुर्गपराय साराय सर्वकारिण्ये ख्याते तथैव कृष्णाय धूम्राय सततं नमः अतिसौम्यतिरुद्राय नतस्तस्यै नमो नमः नमो जगत्प्रतिष्ठाय देवे कृत्ये नमो नमः नमस्तस्यै या देवी सर्वभूतेषु विष्णुमयति शब्दिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु चित्मेत्यभिधीयते नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु बुद्धिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु निद्रारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शुद्धारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु छायारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु कृष्णारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शान्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु जातिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु लज्जारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शान्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु श्रद्धारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु कान्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु लक्ष्मीरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु वृत्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु स्मृतिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु दयारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु तुष्टिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु मातृरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु भ्रान्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः इन्द्रियाणमधिष्ठात्री भूतानां चाखिलेषु या भूतेषु सततं तस्यै व्याप्ति देव्यै नमो नमः
Why not read in English? Is there meaning to that?
I was going to read it after that.
Hmm?
After section I was going to read it in English.
Alright.
इति रूपेण्या कृष्णमे तदप्या स्थिता जगत् नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः सुरे पूर्वमभिष्टसंश्रय या सुरेन्द्रे दिनेषु सेविता करोतु सा नः शुभहेतुरीश्वरी Shubhani Bhadrani Abhihantu
It
Japadaha
has daisies on it, doesn't
Yasam
Today
Tatam
Saraswati.
Jodha Tade Tyata Pite
To pacify.
Parama Bhirisha Cha Surer Namasyate Ya Cha Smata Tapathaname Vahanti Laha Sabapado Bhakti Vinamram Tibiha.
This is all the three chakras. So that should be the last. You've got something to match with this?
Saksha Shri Adi Shakti
Sari,
Bhakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namo.
Just it out. Bring something.
it?
Not that one. One.
This is the translation of that great hymn.
Very well done. Good.
Salutation to the Devi, to the Mahadevi. Salutation always to her who is ever auspicious. Salutation to her who is the primordial cause and the sustaining power. With attention we make obeisance to her. Salutation to her who is terrible, to her who is eternal. Salutation to Gauri, the supporter of the universe. Salutation always to her who is of the form of the moon and moonlight and happiness itself. We bow to her who is welfare. We make salutation to her who is prosperity and success. Salutation to the consort of Shiva, who is herself the good fortune as well as the misfortune of kings. Salutation always to Durga, who takes one across in difficulties, who is essence, who is the author of everything, who is knowledge of discrimination, and who is blue-black, has also smoke-like complexion. We prostrate before her who is at once most gentle and most terrible. We salute her again and again. Salutation to her who is the support of the world. Salutation to the Devi who is of the form of volition. Salutations again and again to the Devi who in all things is called Vishnu Maya. Salutations again and again to the Devi who abides in all beings as consciousness. To the Devi who abides in all things in the form of intelligence. Salutations to the Devi who abides in all things in the form of sleep. Salutations to the Devi who abides in all things in the form of hunger. Salutations to the Devi who abides in all things in the form of reflection. Salutation to the Devi who abides in all things in the form of power. Salutations to the Devi who abides in all things in the form of thirst. Salutations to the Devi who abides in all things in the form of forgiveness. Salutations to the Devi who abides in all things in the form of genus. Salutations to the Devi who abides in all things in the form of modesty. Salutations to the Devi who abides in all things in the form of peace. Salutations to the Devi who abides in all things in the form of faith. Salutations to the Devi who abides in all things in the form of loveliness. Salutations to the Devi who abides in all things in the form of good fortune. Salutations to the Devi who abides in all things in the form of activity. Salutations to the Devi who abides in all things in the form of memory. Salutations to the Devi who abides in all things in the form of compassion. Salutations to the Devi who abides in all things in the form of contentment. Salutations to the Devi who abides in all things in the form of mother. Salutations to the Devi who abides in all things in the form of error. Salutations to the Devi, to the all-pervading Devi, who constantly presides over the senses of all beings and governs all the elements. Salutations again and again to her who, pervading this entire world, abides in the form of consciousness. Invoked of yore by the Devas for the sake of their desired object, and adored by the Lord of the Devas every day, may she, the Ishvari, the source of all good, accomplish for us all auspicious things, and put an end to our calamity. And who is now again reverenced by us, tormented by arrogant asuras, and who, called to mind by us, obeisant with devotion, destroys this very moment, at this very moment, all our calamities. Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Bhagavati Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha.
Better. It's better to have some white stuff or something, so looking color, because the photograph, if you don't show it,
Looks useless.
no.
White.
I'm saying if we have the
A white
cloth, this is something else, some other color.
No big, large.
It's mine. That's too small.
They come in there.
They are too small. See, any yellow color will do because the flowers are quite dark. Yes, that's good. That's great. Now the feet show here. It's all right, we'll do. One or two, take it out. This is also coming out. Uncover my. First of all, why not have the feet alone without the flowers? put separately like this. You can put the flowers on the sides, and not the facing. Yes, not so much. Yes, that's better. See? No, you can take it from the top. Now you move out. Huh? You can, huh? Very important from Indians. See? Good. Yeah. And you have the sari on.
I'll just fix this.
Also put these flowers there, yes, so that
They won't be lost.
now everything is done. Now you put the garland, put the sari on. Good. Now, the garland. More seeds. That's how they remember. You said that this is really actually really a soul. Very lucky to have this.
So much Varial. So much of the
No, all Saraswati, you see. And also here you see the chakra, then Ganesha, and then Saraswati, and then Adishakti. You see all four things. Did you notice? This is what notice, you see. Very clearly. The Ganesha chakra, the Sahasrara, and Saraswati, and the Devi. See all these things in a line. It's very lucky. I didn't see all that. I just bought them on
just chose it.
vibrations. Just look. I don't know how you chose this so well. It's not all right still. This one comes out. Beautiful. It's a big flower. That.
Now the head,
Crown.
now the crown.
Remove all the little petals from it. Right? Now, I think one of you should make a comment because they are little, this is shaky, all of them. Can you bring the mirror for me?
Could you just steady it for me, please, and put your finger on the water?
Very good. It's a doubly done thing, you see. Normally they never put flowers with this. Bye. Take it. Should we have the arti?
You don't want to take the hand?
Yes, I just be done with the hands off the master. And no, first I have to eat something. Is there something for me to eat? This is the prasad. I think we should write it down, everything. What is what
Yes.
afterward? Hmm?
Yes. We'd really appreciate that, Mother. Just one piece of it, or no?
That's all. Nothing else. Nothing else. At the puja, the goddess brings what you call the honey. With the honey and the boiled water as I take it, honey and lemon. That's the thing she drinks.
So if we made that, we could
What's that? Is spring water? Yeah.
spring water.
Yes, spring water.
Good. Good. Now you remove. I think from here.
Take the glass.
Glass. See, the whole decor should be made proper so that when they take complete photographs, it looks nice. And the whole thing. It's called a Shobhaya amount. One, it looks beautiful. Aesthetically, you can put all these brass things here and there. There. It's all right. You can make it straight also. It's all right.
Make it straight.
Straight could be. I put brass things here and there, decorative things. Put them one on top of another. Alright? Let's keep that one on top. See, all these things are the. You can put that on top of that. That's right. If you can pour water in one, that's sufficient. And to the bigger one, just pour everything into the bigger one. Yeah, that's how the puja is to be decorated.
This is how we normally do it, Mother, when you're not here, but we're a little afraid. We're a little afraid to do it when you're here.
No, that's the way it should be. All food. You see, this is Shri Ganesh, I see, having all interest in food. And fish you can keep it on this side. And other silver things also you can put it there. They will look nice. All the silver things. Here, put all the food together. Is there a margin for all these things? For a photograph or something? You can. They should not get out of focus. Aarti, you can put that.
This?
That aarti.
This one.
Or another one. That one is better. Yes, that shows up. Okay? There's an imbalance. You have to have something here. That one looks nice. That last one. Yes. What the? No, at the corner. In the corner. You have there in the corner. Absolutely.
Brass one.
Yes, that would look nice. As a balance on this side. The rest of it, you see. All right, good. That's good. You can put it there.
Take the glass.
That should be the glass. Something like that.
Got a bit wobbly.
That's good. That way. Yes, that can be it. On one side, and back. Cover it. What is this?
This is the 5 elements, Mother.
No, but it should not be put in a brass thing at all. Never.
Not in brass.
Never in the brass. You have to use the same thing in the brass. You just remove it and put it in something.
Into the thali?
Huh?
Into the
Into that thali is all right. Into another thali is all right. Not in the brass.
one
You can put it in this one kasa. Never in the brass.
Mother, we've still got it in this one, so we'll
So-
take
so-
this
so
away.
forget it.
Yes.
Keep it on one side. You can mix it up with something else, but keep it.
Keep it in the thumb.
Mm. You need not throw it. You can keep it somewhere.
Yes.
That also, take it out. Take it out. Let's think to that. Let's take it out and keep it in some bowl or something. It's nothing wrong, but it should not be kept in the glass. Now, then you take the whole video. Now you just move out a little. Let them see. That's a very good thing. You see. I think you have to go a little back. The hands are not done as yet. Take the hands
Yeah.
done.
The hand.
Mm.
Lynn.
Yes, all of you can do it. Yes. Take a line first of all here. Then you can do it much faster. If you can take so much time that I'm surprised. The time I've taken to make the universe. No, just move on like that. It's very simple. What is there to be? Little bit more water, I think. Little water. Too far.
Excuse me.
It's all right, I don't need it.
You don't need.
No. It should be done neat, you see. Done now. Yeah. You finish one. You see, one. That's good. Good. Now let me turn. It's not done easy. It must be very easy too. There's nothing to be, you see, what is there to be nervous? You see? Do it with confidence. Let's see how you're done. Halfway through. I told you first draw the lines, all right? Big it. Now say this is only half, that's half. Yes. Then why are you so nervous today? Extremely nervous you are. Don't be nervous. What is there to be nervous? Have confidence. That's good. Now, I better do it myself, otherwise it's spoiled. pull it out a little. That side, a little more. Let it go. If you make it thick, then you have to make it in proportion with this. You know, fine. But if it is not thick, then it's alright. But you can make it such a thick one. Like that. It's like that. Now that. Good. Quite fast, yeah? Sorry here. They're unnecessarily, I must say, they're unnecessarily. Sorry, it's not okay. This one and this one, and put the thing on top. This of both the saris. Let them meet. All right. Now, all right.
Yes, beautiful. Just turn this.
Now, see, all the Sahajayogis would love to see what Adelaide see. So, let them take a photograph. The full photograph you must take. Now, should we sing the arti?
The counselor here, Lynn.
This is Pancharati, the 5 elements. You see? Who else is with you? Alright. So the people from Adelaide, see, who are going to work it out, should do the arti actually. So let the Adelaide people come now.
They're going to be in Adelaide, are they? Yes.
You are going to be in
Right.
Adelaide now?
Yes.
Alright, good idea. Alright. Yeah. All of you should touch each other.
Should we do the
Come in
Ganesh
the
Aarti
center.
first, Mother?
Hmm?
Should we do the Ganesh Aarti first? No.
That's all right. You can just come in the center. Always come in the center. Yes, now start. Now what about the cow? Counselor?
They didn't have it.
No?
We thought all these things were packed away in Perth.
All right, it's all right.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Sukhakarata,
Vinachi, Bonti Pudi Prem Kopajayachi, Sarvangi Sundaruti Sindurachi, Kante Jakema Mukta Falanchi, Jai Deva Jai Mangalamurti, Jai Mangalamurti, Sharma Treman Kamana Poti, Jai Deva Jai Mangalamurti, Ratnan Kachata Farantu Zakari Kumara, Chandana Chiuti Kum Keshara, Ire Jatata Mukata Shobhato Vara, Runjunti Nupuri Chani Gagaya, Jai Deva Jai Mangalamurti, Dashanama Tremana Kamana Poti, Jai Deva, Lamboda Pitamba Faniva Bandana, Saro Sunda Vakratunda Trinana, Dasramacha Vatpare Sanda, Sankashte Pavane Nirvane Rakshani Sarvavandana Jai Deva Jai Mangamoti Tashrama Tremana Kamana Poti Jai Deva Sabbakuduade Namah Sabbakuduade Namah Jaya Nirmala Mataji Jaya Nirmala Mataji Ilame Sadare Namah Sabbakuduade Namah Sabbakuduade Namah Sabbakuduade Namah Jaya Nirmala Mataji Jaya Nirmala Mataji Ilame Sadare Namah Sabbakuduade Namah Jarane Sankatakaram Kitaniliye Avatama Kitaniliye Avatar Vishwamiteri Mahima Vishwamiteri Mahima Ganga Yamunama Sabbakuduade Namah Sabbakuduade Namah Sabbakuduade Namah Jaya Nirmala Mataji Jaya Nirmala Mataji Ilame Sadare Namah Sabbakuduade Namah Yogi Sharaname Aya Sukha Imila Usako Ma Sukha Imila Usako Vayatakadila Me Oma Vayatakadila Me Oma Lautakana Janama Sabbakuduade Namah Sabbakuduade Namah Sabbakuduade Namah Jaya Nirmala Mataji Jaya Nirmala Mataji Ilame Sadare Namah Sabbakuduade Namah Manavane Avatarake Karadiya Ujiyara Karadiya Ujiyara Kala Yuga Me Maya Hai Kala Yuga Me Maya Hai Viri Pechanama Sabbakuduade Namah Sabbakuduade Namah Sabbakuduade Namah Jaya Nirmala Mataji Jaya Nirmala Mataji Ilame Sadare Namah Sabbakuduade Namah Santa Janoki Dharati Hey Bharata Mata Ma Hey Bharata Mata Isadarati Parake Isadarati Parake Dukase Durakaranama Sabbakuduade Namah Sabbakuduade Namah Sabbakuduade Namah Jaya Nirmala Mataji Jaya Nirmala Mataji Ilame Sadare Namah Sabbakuduade Namah Jabakilame Aveta Madhu Sangita Sunalo Madhu Sangita Sunalo Oh yes okay Jo Seva Oh yes okay Jo Seva Kam se karale Namah Sabbakuduade Namah Sabbakuduade Namah Sabbakuduade Namah Jaya Nirmala Mataji Jaya Nirmala Mataji Ilame Sadare Namah Sabbakuduade Namah Sabbakuduade Namah Sabbakuduade Namah Jaya Nirmala Mataji Jaya Nirmala Mataji, Tila me sadare nama, sabko dua dena, ma sabko dua dena, ma sabko dua dena. Tvameva Sakshat Shri Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati Mahakali Trigunatmika Kundalini Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalki Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalki Sakshat Shri Saraswara Swami Moksha Pradayini Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha.
Mata Shri Nirmala Devi ki jai. Bolo Shri Bhagwati Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi ki jai. Bolo Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi ki jai.
You got this. You got this. You got this. Okay. Very good. I'll just wash my feet here and it will be better than hands. This water is very good. But it's clean enough. What's surprising, I was going to buy this for all of you, one each, that one. But I thought, how will you carry?
Great.
Now, let's take out Good. Just push it little further. And now pour water and somebody should do it.
Just one foot at a time. Just on the foot, not on my.
You have to bring some soap, I think.
Bring your
Very
papers.
good for the skin. Get some warm water. Easier to come out.
Put some more hot in.
It is warm. It is warm. That is
Actually,
warm.
this
That's
is warm.
quite warm,
This
yeah.
is warm. Just, this is cold, you see.
This is rather cold. It's all right, but it doesn't take out, you see, the thing. I like cold, but it doesn't take out the red. You can bring some
Well,
soap.
we're getting
Yes, that's a good idea. So far, who belongs to Adelaide? As such, Sahajayoga.
Well, there's no established ashram here,
No,
Mother.
no, but
so
anybody living here?
no one, no.
No one. Oh, I see. So we are all foreigners. Just a minute. That's what I was wondering.
Just
If there is any stain on these carpets, you can only use Indian soaps, you see. If there are other soaps, it won't go.
really.
Yes. Something surprising. It will be 3 minutes. Most of it comes out. Yeah.
You put it down. You just wash the other one.
Yes, no, no. It's all right. This is the only soap that can really take it out.
You wash the
No.
other. Use that.
You should also use Indian soap because these soaps have got some sort of chemicals, you see, in it, which are not good.
This one's a
The
Chandri.
skin, I believe,
This is
and-
Chandrika.
Chandrika. And hammam, even in Indian hammam, is very good. You see, my elder granddaughter could not take bath with anything else. If she tried, she used to get a sort of allergy. Only hammam she could use. Can you imagine? Hammam or this Chandrika soap, Indian, I mean. This Kame and all that used to give her an allergy. It's some sort of a
Some of the
mixture,
shampoos make
huh?
your hair fall out.
Shampoos are another horrible thing. You see, you start losing your hair, this head and shoulder, you see. Horrible, you are left with head and shoulder only. It's very bad, head and shoulder. I tell you, I don't know, but Indians really, those who have used, are so much for it because they said our head and shoulder is left out. All the rest is finished, head and shoulder. But I don't know, maybe your hair might stand that. I don't know. Because
No. Ours, on the contrary, Mother.
are
Ours is-
rugged, no?
ours
Because
is
your
already-
hairs are rugged compared to ours.
Really?
Because yes, because we are used to this cold climate and heat climate and so much of variation, you see, maybe. Perhaps, I don't know. But how can anybody stand that head and
Some
shoulder?
fresh water.
This is another thing called
Just,
oil of ulai. Ulai.
yeah, that's tortoise oil.
It's a horrible thing. If you use it, I mean, I can't even smell it. Leave alone. I get blisters. Really. Such a horrible thing. This oil of ulai is. I don't know what it is supposed to be. It's very bad. While in India people think it's great to have Kame soap or something. If you bring Kame for them for having bath, they'll be very happy. I don't know what
They
makes
think they're a film star.
Huh?
They think they're a film star.
Yes, maybe. But they said it makes you very clean. I said, how can that? It makes you very clean. Or must be cleaning off part of you. Like,
It smells very expensive, and the advertisements are very glossy.
might be. I don't know. But Chandrika has such a nice smell. I mean, just see. The fragrance of Chandrika is very good. But the worst is this your fairy liquid that you use.
Paint stripper.
Huh?
It's like paint stripper.
Paint, it was enamel. I had those things for 50 years with me, with enamel work, this Muradabad, very beautiful things I had. And when we started cleaning, just one glass I tried, the whole thing cleaned out, you see. Whole enamel disabled. I said, what must be happening if little bit goes in the stomach? Very extreme things. Why do that sort of a thing? I just don't understand. Because Indians are particular about personal cleanliness, very particular. But to use such a thing that takes out your skin is not a sense. I just don't understand. So now, you wanted me to eat marshmallows, I have one. After a long time. It's all big pieces. Is it marshmallow?
No, this is Turkish delight.
Oh, Turkish delight.
It's absolutely sugar, Mother.
I know Turkey. I thought it was marshmallows. Oh. All good.
This is ginger. It's some really nice crystallized ginger.
This is chocolate ginger, Mother.
Chocolate ginger.
Modern Puja.
And these are Smarties for the little children.
What's this one?
Apricot. Apricot and sugar mixed. Pulverized apricot and sugar. Slightly sour and rather nice.
Good idea.
Isn't it?
That's all. I guess I won't want little children. I'm big size.
Mother, we'd be very proud if you'd accept a book which is an illustrated history of Adelaide. It shows some pictures of the founding of the city and the state. There's one special picture here, which is it was at this point that the proclamation of that incorporating the state was made, and it is still extant today. A beautiful bandan.
Made of what?
It's a eucalyptus tree that's just grown that way.
Is it?
And it was under that tree that the state of South Australia was proclaimed.
Oh.
And it is this is celebrated every year, but it's quite a natural feature. It's not a man-made feature at all.
It started as a simple tree, then it became the banda.
The city was named after a queen mother, Queen Adelaide.
Oh, from where?
England. Who's queen?
Which king was
That early William. Was it George?
An English king, Mother.
this? Which one?
George the Fourth.
Huh?
I think. I'm pretty sure that would be the right date too.
Yes, it was.
That
was Caroline.
Prasad.
Was it?
Hmm.
Or was it?
This is it. Victorian, the dresses were. Baba, in the seat they were
That is
wearing
that is not, of course, the original proclamation. That was a celebration of it. much later. It was the city was founded in the 1830s, and it was the one state that was founded without convicts. All the other states in Australia had convicts sent here, penal colonies.
So how did they get people here?
Well, it was an experiment, Mother. Edward Gibbon Wakefield thought up the idea while he was in prison, because he'd married a 16-year-old girl, had run off with a 16-year-old girl, and so he was put in prison. And during that time, he dreamt up this idea of selling land for what was called an adequate price, and that money then would be used to establish the facilities and the city or the towns that would be necessary, and also help immigration, help those people, keeping the price low for the workers and artisans who might go out and who would, they hoped, earn enough to then buy land of their own. It was quite a notable experiment. Where it became successful was when there were riots in Germany in the 1830s, and so a lot of Germans came. It was religious bigotry that sent them. They left Germany and they settled here, became very industrious and very successful members of the community. They brought wine growing to the state, which is one of its main trades.
Is it?
Also interesting, Mother, that the floods we've just had did most damage to the wine growing areas.
The fact?
The wine growing districts were damaged most by the floods.
Yeah. That's the thing. I was wondering, must be something like that happening here. This all nervousness, for nothing at all. There's nothing to be nervous, I'm just saying. Such a nice table cloth, right? That's all right.
I think we should reduce the light a bit.
Vibrated.
Turn one of them off.
This one's
Perhaps
the
this
bright.
one.
This one's the bright. That one's the spot.
This handwork is not done here, no? It's from China. Is it from Adelaide? This one? Handwork?
Probably Chinese one.
Chinese. Whose is this one?
Yeah.
It is Chinese.
It's made now. It was a gift. It was a gift.
Oh.
It would be Chinese.
It is Chinese. Looks like Chinese, but they could make also. This is interesting. Prayer since railway died. First day, see, Monday, the train goes up like that. Tuesday, it goes down like that. Then Wednesday, the derailment of the thing. Thursday, it just dislocated. See. Then Friday, the two trains come up and they all get dislocated. And Saturday they collapse, and Sunday there's nothing. No train on Sundays.
Not very successful transport system.
It's not so bad in India, I think. India is the last one on every sort of dislocation.
Every state in Australia set up their own railway system, which meant that when Australia became a single nation, every state had a different width of railway line. So they couldn't have a consistent train system throughout.
Oh, I
Anybody going from place to place had to keep changing trains as they came to a border.
It's a bit like the meter gauge system in India, Mother.
Ah. See, in India, I have travelled long time back in a train, which was meter gauge, small gauge. Meter gauge is better, even small gauge. And no tickets, nothing. People used to just get into the train from one side, get out from the other. And they would stop it wherever they felt like. No stations, except for some sort of a mound was the station, they said. And anywhere they wanted, they could just pull this thing, get down. Nobody was bothered, you see. And they would walk into every first class or every class thing, walk in, walk out, no problem. And to cover about 120 miles, it took the whole night. I traveled back.
My goodness. We went from, I think it was Mysore, was it, or one of these cities to Rameshwaram. Rameshwaram. We went down on this meter gauge train when we travelled to the south, and it was an amazing experience.
But now they have scrapped that small gauge.
Have they?
Very small. Now it's scrapped. This is meter gauge is bigger.
Oh, even bigger, even smaller than
Meter gauge is, I think, 6 feet or something.
3.
That's very interesting. I think there is still one going to Mathura. I will try to see if this visit we can go to Mathura.
One thing that was quite advanced for the town planning at the time, the city was planned by a Captain Light, and he designed a city where the central area was surrounded by parkland, so that when you left the city area you had to cross through parkland to come to the suburbs.
Oh, I see. That was good. They were very thoughtful of so many things. I like the way they did certain things in England. Like we had the covered house now in London. It has got what you call a park, not park, but a square. And it makes the house so quiet in the absolute heart of city. It's so quiet. That's something we should have followed in India, but they did not. In Delhi also they don't have such a system as that. So what happens that any house you take, now my brother is going to have another house, big house in Shahjahan, but it's going to be equally noisy. There's no way of saving you from the noise. Of course, ours are terraced houses, which Indians may not like terraced houses very much. Now how to make the king build it, because after all the king is a licentious man, how to please him. So they said we'll put all sorts of erotic things outside the temple, because the king said that, or this king said, after all this is life, you see, eroticness is very perverted people. Some of the kings became very perverted. So they said that, after all, this is life and we must show it, even in a temple. They said, all right, outside the temple we'll show, just to please the king. Slowly everything outside walked inside, you see. And that's how all the temples got ruined.
That's a process that happened with Western art as well, Mother. It's justified because it's showing life.
Well, that's
It's justified a lot of
all idea from the fraternity of booths, I think. Working out
sure.
But like Michelangelo was an innocent man, you see, when he did it, he didn't want to do anything like that. But his book, if you see his pictures and all that, you see, because done innocently, it doesn't excite any baser self in you, not at all, you see. You will be amazed, we went to Nepal with Kalpana, Sadhna, my son-in-laws and everything. We never saw anything erotic in the whole of Nepal. Can you imagine? We had no eyes to see. So, when I came away, for this book, Gregor said, Mother, if you can come for 5-6 days, we can work it out together, both of us. So I said, all right, I'll try. I met Sadhna's place. So he said, you can go for 3-4 days because I'm going to Delhi. At that time, you can go and then come back. So I asked Rommel, I said, come along with me. Rommel also came with me. Both of us went. And there, he said, it's so full of erotics, Mother. We were writing the book, you see, on Tantrism also. Because I went after that to Khajuraho to see those things. I said, I never saw it. And I asked Rommel, did you see? He said, some of them were there. But I didn't notice much, Romel also said. But I said, we never noticed because with our daughters we would not have gone to these temples. We never noticed one thing. So I said, all right, tomorrow come along, I'll show you. So we went down. All these Japanese with zoom lenses, climbing over the temples, like that fellow taking angle like that. So what is he doing? He's taking a photograph of erotic thing. Somewhere in the corner, just imagine taking all the angles and this and that, and these Japanese, these shorty fellows, bending all the time with their chinky eyes. I said, what are they looking at with the way? And they spent hours together, in one point. And he's hanging by something, another hanging by something, and the lens is coming this way. It's big acrobats, all like monkeys. I just couldn't understand what are they up to. We must make this picture sometime, the way these...
That'd be a good theme.
That something happened,
Should have had that
And the
too.
Japanese was standing like this with both the legs, thin legs like that. And he heard something happen down below. So he pushed his neck down and saw through there what was happening. So I said, he's in a state of suspension now. Suspended. He couldn't move because of his legs fixed on one side, another like that. You see. And something happened. I think he heard some sound or something. To see that, he couldn't turn around. He put his head down, and there he saw. He should have used a mic. What to call magnifying glass to see. Such stupid people, I tell you. Japanese. They deserve another bomb, I think. Come around. Hiroshima.
Hiroshima too.
Very stupid, Imagine. And so busy, as if big, sort of a big project was handled very seriously. Some people down below, some up there working it out.
They used to get out of the tourist buses quickly.
Huh?
They used to get out of the buses quickly and get onto the buses quickly.
Oh.
We travelled around Hong Kong and Thailand, and we were in one bus, and Japanese were often in two buses on either side. And they'd be out of the bus, taking their photographs and back in again while we were still drifting off. Very fast.
Well, only one good thing they have done. They are taking photographs of Sistine Chapel. One Japanese has decided. That Kurosawa was a great Japanese photo. Have you seen his photograph? But he's not successful financially, he's not.
Should art be paid for, Mother?
Huh?
Should artists be paid for their work?
They should be. I mean, in all decency to them and to art, we should, but we never pay them when they live, mostly. Never pay them. Their condition is just like saints. Saints are never respected when they live the same way.
It's not dishonourable to take money for really creative work which comes from
At all,
the
why not?
unconscious.
I mean, they have to exist also. It won't be dishonourable for me.
Robin was asking me today
What?
that question.
Of course you must. What is it? All these ideas are... You see, if I take money from you for my work, it's not dishonourable, but I don't take it, that's all. Nothing is dishonourable in this. If I am doing a real job, you see, I'm giving you time, everything. Apart from that, no sin can come to me. So I can take, but I just don't do it. It's not proper from the other angles, you see, from political side.
The apricot ones?
No. So that's what it is, actually. Artists must take money. But what happens, money should not bind them. Then it's all right. That's why it is said that artists should not, because then what happens, you become money oriented. And the whole art is money oriented. That's not proper. If you become money oriented, then your art won't have the spontaneity, isn't it?
That's what I was talking about.
In India, the other way around it is, used to be kings and this thing, and they used to support artists, even cricketers and things like that. They used to support them, so that nobody was forced in any way to change the art or anything. Do what you like, but you see, they were given all the freedom for their spontaneous work.
But money orientation has ruined our artists today, you see. Whatever they produce is for money. So naturally there's no art, it's all filth. If something is not selling, they will use women to advertise that. Actually, real artists don't need vulgarity at all. They don't have to take course to vulgarity. If they are real artists, you see that they are themselves. See, look at this. Now maybe that this may not sell. I don't know. Working machine.
They do have small, in art and craft exhibitions, they are starting to come into this in a bigger way now.
Finer stuff.
Finer,
Not the
yes,
rustic stuff.
hand-painted. No, the hand-painted teapots and
As a matter of
small
fact,
plates.
yes, there's a man doing something in Adelaide which I've never seen done anywhere else. He is painting landscapes on stones.
Really?
Stones that he's picked up on the river or on the beach, and they're about this big. And he's painted a little landscape on them. And because they're round, they have a three-dimension.
Ah, good idea.
Most artists in Australia mother paint gum trees. All gum trees.
I seem to remember.
Paint how?
They're painting gum trees
Oh.
because they sell. You know, it's a lot
Artists.
of money. The artists all paint gum trees.
It's just one of those subjects.